Hi everyone, I hope and trust that you're all keeping well by the grace of God. Thank you for watching yet again. I do appreciate your time. I would like to talk about the importance of utilizing our God-given gifts and talents, be they spiritual or natural. Our time here on earth is limited. Anytime this can be all over, we don't know when we'll be called home. So we usually have a tendency of postponing things, of putting things off, and just coming up with so many reasons or excuses why we cannot be who God created us to be, why we cannot exercise, or utilize our spiritual gifts and talents. Jesus tells a parable in the Bible of a landowner who had 3 slaves or servants. He decided to go away, and before he left, he called his 3 servants and assigned them gifts and talents with the hope and expectation that in his absence they will utilize them and actually bear some fruits and have some results. So the first 2 servants, they took their master at his own word. They were good stewards. They bore some fruit. There was, and multiplication and dividends of what they were given. And the third one, he decided it wasn't going to do anything with his given talent. It's actually said that he came up with a number of reasons or excuses why he wasn't going to use his talent. He actually buried his talent. So it came a time for the master to return, and he called his 3 servants. With the first 2, he was quite pleased with them because they'd borne some fruit according to their capabilities. He said, "Well done, good and faithful servant," to each and every one of them. And to the third one, when it came time for him to account for his talent, he came up with a number of excuses. And one of them was that he was afraid, and then another one was that the master was bad. Obviously, the master was displeased with him because he didn't utilize his talent. He buried his talent. He came up with a number of excuses. Instead of hearing, "Well done, good and faithful servant," he was actually cast away. So this is a reminder for us as well that the Bible says that when Jesus ascended, he gave gifts unto men. So we all have gifts that Jesus gave us, and we are expected to utilize them. One, first and foremost, to honor God. He expects us to be faithful stewards of what he has given us. And 2, to serve each other. Because there are some things that God especially put in you, some gifts that you have that other people do not have. So if you bury them or you come up with excuses, it means we suffer. It means we are shortchanged. So it doesn't matter what other people think or say about you. What matters is whether or not your gift or your talent is God-given. If you know in your heart without a shadow of doubt who you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to become, you better be faithful, because you're going to give an account to your master. It says we're all going to stand before the judgment seat of Christ and account for our time here. We will have to account for our gifts and our talents. We are supposed to be the salt and the light, serving each other and serving other people by our gifts and our talents. So we cannot choose an excuse of people's opinions, because whether or not you decide to be a faithful steward and utilize your gift, people will always have an opinion about you. People will always talk about you. So you might as well be faithful and honor God and serve other people. It's said that the cemetery is a sad place, sad in the sense that there is so much unrealized potential, dreams unfulfilled, gifts and talents never materialized or fulfilled because of one reason or the other. So my encouragement is, you rather seek and know what you are called to do, what your gifts and talents are, and pursue them with everything that you have. Do not worry about what people will say or think. For every one person who disapproves, God will always provide or make sure that there are other people who will support you, who will encourage you. Those are the people that you should worry about. And most importantly, worry about whether or not you will hear those words. Well done, good and faithful servant. God bless you. Utilize your gifts and talents.